Go.
I bet it works now. Yeah.
It totally does.
I didn't have it set up to the right camera.
That's all right.
That was my fault.
That's okay.
All right. Hold on. Let me minimize. There you are. Move you over so I look like I'm looking at you. All right. All right.
I do the same thing. It's like we know what we're doing or something.
Seriously.
Oh my.
You just let me know when you're ready. I'll record if
Oh, okay.
if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm totally ready.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You sure? Do you need to get your cape on?
Oh, I left it at the Daily Planet. I balled it up and threw it on Muriel Hemingway's desk for some reason.
How about when she sits on that desk? Oh, we'll get there. I just recorded. Okay. Okay. How are you, by the way?
I'm okay. How are you?
Okay.
You know, as good as can be.
I mean, it's
expected.
It's not quite Friday. It's Thursday night.
No.
It's not quite July.
Right. So, like, the Supreme Court can't do anything over the weekend, right? Because that means that there'll be 2 days that are okay.
Oh, man.
Right?
Oh, man.
Ay.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I can't think about, although this does make you think about politics, but I like thinking about it in a pretend world like Metropolis and Smallville.
Yes,
I don't like to think about the politics of not when we're here. When we're not in this space. I come here to get away from that.
Yes. I shouldn't have even said
You
anything.
did, though. You did, though. And then I went in a swirling vortex, which I've been in. You can't not be a woman in this world right now and not be in this, like, what is... Okay. Let us not distract from the case at hand.
This has nothing to do with Superman.
No. All right. Oh, it's raining out. Just a weather update from here.
No rain here.
Oh, great.
I had to check to make sure. But while hundreds of miles away, it's not the same weather.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you want to bring us down with, or should I?
No, you should hit record and start.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. That was a little different. I hit it on now, but. I think it's probably still...
No, I mean, I hit record, so...
Yeah, I'm recording.
I know how this works.
Okay.
Oh,
good.
All right.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah?
I have water in a glass that says Paul, not the name of this guy who does this podcast.
Oh. Hey, that's a fancy water glass.
I think it's a wine glass, technically.
Yeah, that's... Look at you. Just water
I don't really know what a water glass is.
I drink out of jars.
No, I know. Yeah, you just you drink out of things that should be holding preserves in an old lady's pantry.
Because at any time I might want to lid that water and take it to go. I don't know. Hey,
do you have lids?
Oh, I do. Of course.
Oh, you do.
They're mason
you don't
jars.
get rid of the lids.
I like to keep them if I can. Okay. Surprisingly, the lids are like socks. Like there's always one disappearing, and you're like, "Where's the lid?"
Okay. I thought you meant you wear them on your feet.
I do that too. Slide around the floor. We got hardwood here. I'm just like, woo-wee. Yeah.
Oh,
hey, do you even recognize me because I'm wearing glasses? Like, doesn't it completely change my look? Like, you wouldn't even know that I was who I was. Take my glasses off. Oh, I can't see anything, but
wait,
I'm a different person.
Hold on a second.
I could be a superhero, but now.
Jamie, I thought you were just on... Whoa, wait, you're back. You know what happened? It was so weird. Someone else showed up to the podcast for like 3 seconds on your end.
It's all about eyewear. See? You have eyewear on, you're one person. You take eyewear off.
Wait, hold on a second. I am so confused right now. I don't know what's going on.
It's the same hair, very similar facial features, but it's not who you think it is.
I like how you're saying similar facial features as though they have changed, but just slightly.
I'm back. Don't worry. That imposter is out of here.
good.
Yeah.
It was making me very nervous.
I know. I didn't want you to feel that way. Okay.
When this movie turns into, oh no, I accidentally made 2 dates at the same time. I was like, I think I'm done.
I was like, what are we doing, Superman? No, when the Lee press-on nails sun guy with his golden nails I was like, he's the bad guy? He's got Gene Hackman's voice. He doesn't even have his own evil guy voice.
No, because he's Gene Hackman's baby. And I'm like, well, how did he get your voice? How did that happen? Shouldn't he have Superman's voice? Or at least
just have his own
hair color? You literally took Superman's hair
and you made a blonde. Well, because he's from the sun. It's a lot of light. The sun will lighten even the darkest of hairs if you're in it long enough. I suppose.
That is a good point.
I mean, I don't know hair science. I'm not.
So much of this movie felt like padding. Every little plot point, I was like, are you just trying to get to 90 minutes? Is that why we're doing any of the stuff with Mira Hemingway? Like, anytime they talked about the newspaper, I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now. Does this have anything to do with anything?
Well, and all the different stories that were coming out of the paper that were those headlines, man. I guess nowadays we'd call it fake news, right?
It is
what they were doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fact that the headlines kind of do just take up the entire front page. Yeah. The articles don't start till you open it up. And they have an article just devoted to hiring Muriel Hemingway.
And yes. And it's front page news, mind you.
Definitely. And I think that came out, I don't know, around the time that a sun monster destroyed multiple, just around the world destroying monuments.
Oh, the around the world montage where he's destroying them, but then Superman is cleaning up the mess.
Just cleaning up after him. Again,
and their space fight, their moon rock fight was,
everything's slow. Everything's slow mo. Even like when you get hit into space, it's like, whoa. And it really cut down on the excitement of anything.
Superman 4. Quattro, Superman.
I'm sure that's how it was billed in Mexico.
Yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or would it be like Super Hombre? Super Hombre.
I think we should just start.
Maybe we've started.
I can't. There are certain movies that I can. Speaking of Footloose, I can dance around and I don't have to talk about it immediately.
Yeah.
This is all I'm here for right now.
Yeah. This. Let's do it. Let's just do it.
We'll see each other in a week.
Is it a week already?
No, sorry. Wait.
Well, it's like 12 days.
Wait.
I'm going to count from tomorrow. It'll be 12 days exactly.
That's right. 2 weeks.
So it's less than 2 weeks because 2 weeks is 14 days. It's the glasses that makes me smarter.
Is that? The dummy without the glasses would have no idea.
Yeah, you can't count because you don't have glasses.
Yeah. All right.
All right. I think I introduce us and you fly us through. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Although I did take some pretty, I don't know. I took notes. I won't call them stellar. I don't want to toot my own horn, but it wasn't hard to pay attention. Let's put it that way.
I was going to make a joke about John Cryer's car. Toot my own horn, but let's not.
All right.
Save it for the show.
Keep it in. Mm.
Oh, let's have
last sips.
Hydrate.
Last sips. Mm-hmm. You good? Your palate?
I'm ready.
Yeah, okay. Me too. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Good Times, Great Movies. Here we are. We meet together to talk about a good time, great movie from the 1980s. I am here. I always am. I was going to call myself J.P. Lorello. There's no P in my middle name. There's no P. Anyway.
Wait a minute. Can I ask you a weird question?
Sure.
What is your middle name?
Robin.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
Jamie, how could we have known each other this long?
You don't ever recollect?
No.
Well, why would you need to know my middle name? Are you filling out forms on my behalf?
No, I was actually going to say maybe there is a P in your middle name, but there's not.
Well, and I had to think twice because the B and the P, there's no P. I am not Jamie Penelope Lorello.
Oh. Whereas I once pronounced it during a school play in 6th grade, Penelope.
You just forgot the N altogether in the beginning there. Oh, no, you put it in there. Peony.
No, it's there.
Peony.
If you look at it phonetically, it looks like Penelope.
Penelope. Or Yeah, Penelope is a tricky one. Yeah,
well,
I'll give you that
listen,
to look at.
It's not really. I appreciate you saying that. I should have known. That's just me not listening to the other characters in the play and just doing my own thing
and just reading from.
I'm gonna be just fine.
We'll call you Dorothy Penelope. DP on the other side
Okay.
here. There he is. I didn't finish introducing you, so there you are. Not being able to spell Penelope, but hopefully being able to handle your own initials.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
good.
you want to stump me? Have me spell Muriel Hemingway.
Oh, I don't know. Is there a Y in the Muriel part or a U?
It's just at the end of Hemingway.
Okay. And there's no P's in that one, right?
No.
Okay.
This may be one of the worst openings.
Is this a spelling bee or is this a podcast about an 80s movie? I couldn't tell you right now. I don't know what we're doing here.
I'm pretty sure we're here to talk about Superman 4, the quest for peace.
For peace. That's
That's
all
what
he
he's
wants.
after.
He's just trying to disarm nuclear weapons. It's a tough time in the 80s for peace on Earth. And Superman represents a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot in this movie. Like, this is a very I got Rocky 4 vibes from it.
Oh, yeah, because you got the Russians.
Yes. I also got Star Trek 4 vibes from it because ecological. One of the best parts of this movie, one of my favorite parts, is after the potential subway incident. When
he encourages people to keep riding public transit.
Hold on, listen. People almost died here, but I think it's important to just let everyone know that public transportation is the safest.
The subways are
and
still
best
safe.
and most reliable way to get around in the city.
It's a little subway PSA from Superman.
Why is that there? Why is that in this movie?
Oh, no. Why is this movie this... Why?
Jamie, did you see as these really, really ugly, stupid credits come up at the beginning of this?
Oh, these flying credits, these super flying credits to the left, to the right, and center. To the left, to the right.
Behind Earth, everyone goes and sets like the sun on the other side of Earth. Did you see that Christopher Reeve had a writing credit?
Oh, was a story creator writing credit, yeah.
I feel bad.
Well,
I want to know what he's responsible for. Like, he doesn't. I looked around. He doesn't have any writing or story credits in any of the first.
Maybe
three
they let him
movies.
have it with the Superman 4. They were like, all right, what do you want to add? And he was like, long nails. I think the sun god needs to be manicured or sun. What is he? A super sun? What do they call him? He's
Let's
not
call
sun
him
god.
Super Sun.
Super Sun?
Yes, Super Sun. Super Son of Lex Luthor. You think that's his contribution where they're like, all right, Chris, we asked you to write something and you just wrote, I think the bad guy needs long nails.
Well, I think there was maybe more to it. That was my personal favorite, so I'd like to hope that that was something. Maybe it was the double date scene. I don't want to be disappointed, but maybe Christopher Reeves was like, how about a little romance? How about I play a little Patty Duke style?
He's like,
where am I?
Superman's not funny enough.
Yeah.
Let's make this funny. I've always wanted to be in
Let's
a weird
get a giggle
rom-com.
out of the gang. Yeah.
Wow, this movie.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this as a kid.
I
don't.
I watched Superman as a kid. I think they were the other ones. I don't remember this one. But honestly, I don't remember a whole lot of detail.
Yeah.
You know, if I watched it now.
About your childhood.
Yeah, exactly. No, about the movie Superman. I knew I know Kryptonite and I know Lex Luthor. What's the one with the guy that blows the cold air and the beard and that one I know. Where there's the team of the lady and the guy with the beard and I think they're bad guys too.
What are you talking about here? The guy with the beard and the cold air? What? What are you talking about?
It's one of the Supermans.
Are
And
you
he
talking
blows.
about, Superman 2?
I guess
and
it was
they're
2.
dressed in black?
That sounds
There's
right.
3
Yes.
of them? Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
that one I remember a little
Okay,
bit.
all right.
Clearly not
Yeah.
enough to get you to guess what it is. But yeah.
No,
But
that's
this
fine.
one
No,
you have seen. You have seen this one.
I think I've seen all 4 of these originals. And maybe that's why I don't watch superhero movies nowadays.
Oh, you think that this tainted it for you?
It might have. The amount of times I watched Superman 3, which is really bad. Richard Pryor's in it.
Oh.
At some point, some lady gets turned into a robot.
Oh.
Gene Hackman is nowhere to be seen in that.
He was
one.
like, I'm not trying to compete with this madness. Yeah.
He's like, I think I'm done with this. And then, I don't know, they pulled a dump truck full of money up to his house for this one. I don't know why he's
Maybe
back,
he had some political say in it. He's like, yeah, I do have a quest for peace.
Isn't that something? Maybe. The villain is the one who had the ideas for the peaceful nature of this.
Maybe.
Because he read it and he's like, what did Christopher Reeve write here? It's just Superman and Clark Kent on dates the whole time.
What is this?
It's like, I think we need
what
something
is
more
this?
than this.
We need a little more. We need to bring a...
He's like, and it's called Quest for Peace. He didn't even change the title. Superman 4, Too Many Women was possibly what Reeve wanted to call this. The amount of times that Lois Lane is like, listen, Mira Hemingway, I'm pretty sure Clark's asexual. He is not into you. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Get your boobs out, wear whatever dress. He's not
even going to look. Yeah. Yeah. And then you're not really sure if Clark does like her in the end. Like,
no.
I don't think. I mean, really, we all know he's for Lois, right?
I don't even know if that's what's happening here.
Well, of
because
course.
even when he's sick, Clark, and she's like, what if Superman was here? I'd really tell him blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
and he's like, and you know what Superman would say to you? We're really good friends. Like, it's a really strange, like, he kisses her at one point, but I think it's just to erase her memory.
Yeah, that was, yes. I was like, what is this? What is the erasure? Come on. What?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I assume he's
Is that
like,
something he does? Is that
that
something he does?
I've never seen that before. I didn't know that was a power of his.
Wow. Because I was excited for Lois. I was like, yes, now you're in on it. And now maybe you guys make your own super baby that fights the super son. Lex baby. Maybe. I mean, is that crazy? Did they ever do that in Superman 6 or 5?
I kind of... Oh, Jamie, that's a much more interesting movie. And like what, she goes through the entire pregnancy in like an afternoon or something?
Quickly, just like we saw him give birth through the sun.
Because he's an alien,
because he's a super, right? And maybe she gives birth on the farm.
Oh my God, that would be so great. Mm-hmm. And then what, Superman just like kicks back on the porch? And
and he's like, I'm going to let my son take care of business. Guy. Yeah, well, Lois makes apple pies.
Or Lois knows that he's Superman and he gets really sick and she's like, listen, you can't beat this Sun Man. We got to get down and get busy.
Oh, I like that.
Guy. And Clark just sits there wrapped in a blanket while he watches his son beat up Sun Man.
Okay. But then they all get power back after the sun gets defeated. You like that?
Yeah, I found it very interesting that...
The elevator was the Sun Man's demise.
Weakness is like shadowy corners of a room.
Yeah.
When he walks away from the window and crumples to the floor, it's like there's a huge flaw in this plan.
Seriously. Lex. Dude, he gets stuck in an elevator and he can't handle. He can get shot into space. No strength. But as tight as that elevator might
falls for the nope, she's not in here.
He does it for the first one. Superman does it one other time and he's like, no.
Oh, when he gets in the elevator downstairs, I'm like, why is Superman getting in an elevator? You can fly. This movie's so dumb. I can't believe how stupid this was. All right, okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about it.
What year was it made? 1986?
87.
87, okay.
And you could have... You could have told me anything. You could have said 81 or 89.
Oh,
I would
no,
have
it's
had
definitely a
no
little more
idea.
refined of a 80s, like a late 80s.
No,
Not so much
yeah.
early, but I agree that
But this looks, again, it's been a very long time since I saw Superman 2 or the original. The original's from 78, and I guarantee you it looks better than this movie. I would be willing to bet money. Okay, so flying credits, as we said in the beginning of this.
Yeah.
And then we're introduced to Lex Luthor working on a chain gang?
No, their first scene is where we get to see, we do get Lex Luthor working on a chain gang, but first we get to see the Russians in outer space singing My Way.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And that's okay, but we like to establish
the
that
names
it's...
down of people in the credits. I'm like, why am I doing that?
You were taking copious notes, I guess.
It's like, hold on. Pause. Who was the script supervisor? Oh, Christopher.
I might want to note that when we podcast tomorrow.
Who's in charge of costuming?
You
No wonder it took
gotta know.
me 5 hours to get through this movie. All right.
Pausing through the net credit names. No, we open to some Russians doing something in outer space with, I'm going to say, space satellites, missile.
I'm going to say like a space station.
Equipment. Okay, great. But and there's I'm going to call them a tribe of spacemen, astronauts.
You could call them cosmonauts.
And one of them...
a tribe of spacemen? I like to think that someone in New York, as Superman and Sunman are flying around, pointed up and went, look, it's a tribe of spacemen.
There's just two. That's not a tribe. That's only two.
There's only 3 astronauts. It just has to be more than 2. Okay. All right. That's fair.
One of them gets in trouble. The one singing My Way in outer space. They are precariously in outer space, don't you think? Because the one is like fixing...
First of all, these guys are in full spacesuits,
right?
Which I thought you needed in space. Later, Muriel Hemingway's just in space.
She's just flying with Sunman, and Sunman drops her at one point, and she just falls like she's falling down the stairs.
There's no gravity; she's just falling.
Well, she is Muriel Hemingway, and she is, as she puts later, very, very rich. So. Everyone likes her. Very, very rich.
Oh, I'm already crying. I'm still on the astronauts. Yeah, so, there's like space garbage that hits them or something. And
it's dangerous out there in space.
Yeah, it causes a huge mess.
But Superman is there, all the way out in outer space. Knowing
he's hanging out in space a lot in this movie.
You know why? Isn't he from another planet? He's missing home. Maybe he's taken you know how maybe if you live in the city but you're from the country, you might take your country roads back home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, feel like clear the mind.
No, listen, if you want to clear your mind, you go to space. You're not
That's
hearing
what you're
anything
doing if you're Superman. That's what you're doing if you're Superman, if you can do that. So yeah, he saves the Russian. He talks to them in Russian. Mm-hmm. And that is our opening scene, is Superman saving the Russians in space, even though the Russians are kicking our ass with nuclear weapons. It's right.
Well, I mean, listen, we're kicking each other's ass with nuclear weapons.
That's how it's going down.
The amount of nuclear weapons that are just
that he catches in that net.
Like, I guess people are constantly just hitting buttons and launching nuclear warheads into the air.
I guess
where Superman's like, I don't know, this is an afternoon's worth. And there's about 300.
That's the best when he goes in front of the court of people, the UN. Where does he go? Is it the UN?
I think it's the UN. The court of people. Because that little boy was like, hey, maybe Superman could solve all their problems. Did anybody think of that?
What a great class to spy on. Why is that teacher watching the news with them?
Why is any of this happening? Because she seems distressed by what she's seeing and has to turn it off and is like...
But I like her message to the kids. Let's write our local congressman. I'm like, all right, but they're kindergartners. No, they're a little older than that. But... yeah, I did like her activist message to her students. Let's write to Congress, kids.
It was really great.
Yeah.
perhaps one of the most random moments in this movie that I'm watching, because then I was like, oh, this kid must be an important character. Nope, gone. Just gone out of this movie.
We make a headline out of him, though.
He goes to the UN. First, it looks like they fly him into Japan, but he's not in Japan. He's in New York or Metropolis or wherever this takes place. But we're not even there yet.
No,
we're not.
He just first saved those space Russians, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But now he goes to his secret barn.
Oh, right.
His childhood home, where he keeps like a pool of smoldering green rock
underneath the barn door. Yeah, and one very special knife that glows green that can only be used once.
I think it's a crystal.
Oh, is it a crystal?
Right?
It's a sharp object. Okay.
Yeah, it's a sharp object.
And glowy. And he puts it in the pocket of his one thing, and I'm like, that's totally still gonna glow through the pocket.
I'm surprised that realtor was like, is that like a glowing green dildo in the pocket of your coat, Clark?
Clark grew up on a farm.
Clark Kent.
Yeah, that's
I know,
his name.
Jamie. Listen, Clark and Superman are the same person. I know it looks like Superman goes into that barn, but it is Clark Kent.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he gets his crystal, and you like hear his mom being like, "Now this is the very last piece. This is really important, and once you use this, it's all over." Whatever she's saying, it's basically like, "This is the last Superman movie, right?" Like, unless she makes Superman 5, this is it. Yeah. This is the last thing that'll save you or something. I was kind of out of it when he was sick, so I don't really, did he prey upon the green shard and then he got better or something?
No, he got scratched up. I thought that's how he got sick, because the sun
No, that's how he got
wounded him.
sick, but how did he get better?
I thought it was Lois's pep talk.
Oh, you thought... Because after her pep talk, he looks to have aged at least 30 years.
That's right.
So I thought it was this green thing.
I think you're right. I think he had to use that to give him the extra strength to have the moon fight in space.
Also, there are clearly scenes missing from this movie, right?
It's chunky. It's chunked together.
Like when the sun superhero suddenly falls in love with Miro Hemingway.
Oh.
And approaches the building and goes, "Where's the woman?" Superman knows what he's talking about, knows who he's looking for, has prepared some sort of insane plan for when this spaceman would see this newspaper. It is so strange, and it's really disjointed at times. Oh, this is so great.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Superman
he's at his barn, and I don't know, Texas realtor comes up?
Oh, yeah. Because it's important to sell, the farm is for sale. I like how so the farm is for sale, but, and there's a buyer wants to buy it sight unseen. And this is not good news to
Clark.
Clark
Kent knows what that's about.
No, he doesn't want them to, he wants whoever's going to buy it to keep it running as a farm.
Right.
And not a builder to come and put condos or shopping centers. There's enough of those in sweet Smallville, right? That's where he's from, Smallville.
Mm-hmm. There was a TV show that I never saw.
Yeah, I wondered. I was going to ask you if you ever saw that. No, me neither. No. But I did know that it was called that, and that's what it was. But I like
that. It
then
seemed to have like a lot of hot teens in it, and I don't feel comfortable watching
You're not,
that as an old man. I'm like, I'd be put on some sort of watch list if I turn on Smallville or something.
Understood. I like your boundaries.
Yeah. Oh no.
You're cautious, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He has a little moment, I guess, where they play baseball. They look through his. I don't know why all of his stuff is just like his baby crib and all these little keepsakes from when he was a kid are just outside the house.
Outside.
And him and the realtor play a little baseball. Yeah. I guess that's just to see that he also still has Superman powers, because when the realtor leaves, he shoots the ball into outer space. That's fun.
Right, exactly. Probably killing those cosmonauts.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely doing some damage with that, my friend. Now you have Lex Luthor, what you were saying before, on the working.
Exactly, on the chain gang.
The chain gang, yeah.
Yeah. So Lex Luthor used to have a different sidekick. Played by Ned Beatty.
Oh, yeah.
In the first movie, maybe even the second movie, too. And then they both went to jail, so I don't know what happened to that guy. Like, he must... I'm going to say he was murdered in prison
Okay,
or something.
all right. Let's go with that storyline.
Yeah. So, but he does need a sidekick, and oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Listen, I have no problem with John Cryer as a human being, and in most things I've seen him in, he's totally fine.
Sure.
What is this, Jamie?
What is he doing? Is he... I think he's supposed to be like maybe a surfer kind of dude, but he has a British accent sometimes, and... Right?
I think most of the audio in this movie was done way afterwards. I almost feel like he was doing something different on set, and they're like, well, this doesn't work. We don't want this. And they brought in someone else to imitate John Cryer as a surfer dude.
It was that, when you talk about mismatched Chunky, there was something not all put together about that character. I get it. So he comes in, Lex is working on the chain gang. And to get away, there's this elaborate plan he has where this fancy car pulls up. It distracts the cops. And the driver is, I like to call him the guy from not My Two Dads.
Yep, My Two Dads.
2.5 Men.
Paul Reiser is who you're thinking of.
The guy from 2.5 Men.
John Cryer, Paul Reiser. I get it. It's confusing.
You could pair the two. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Father and son. They could play father and son,
I see
probably.
it. He pulls up and is Lex Luthor's nephew. Yeah.
He pulls up in this crazy car with like horns on the doors, but are speakers, which I guess
it's just
blow
crazy
music directly into your ears.
I'm not sure.
And these guards are first like, hey, you can't just drive into the middle of a prison stone crunching committee.
This isn't where you need to be. Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, dude, check out this cool car.
Check it out, man.
Do you want to get inside and like ride around? And he like locks them in his car.
Oh, then the car does some crazy flippy magic shit.
And listen, this movie is PG. I get it. We see these guys crawl out of a flaming crater later, but these two dudes are totally dead.
Yeah, they fall into a pit. Fire bursts out of the pit they're in, but then we see them crawl out with like ash on their face.
Like
ridiculous.
Cartoons. Like the way that Bugs Bunny would quote unquote kill Elmer Fudd or something like that. Yeah. That's what's happening in this movie. The only person we can kill is the sun guy.
Yeah.
He dies and becomes electricity.
Yeah.
Which is again like another interesting idea to be like, well, I guess this guy now created clean nuclear energy for the entire city.
Maybe that's what Christopher Reeves brought to the script. He's like, here's how we're going to...
You think all the ecological things and probably the train speech is what he brought in?
What he insisted upon. Hey, I have to say as a PS, Christopher Reeves is very handsome.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
He's very incredible looking.
Yeah, you are 100%. And it was kind of striking at times where I was not prepared. Like, I've seen him in things.
Sure.
I know that I've seen him as
Superman. What he looks like, right.
But I guess it's been so long where when he's standing there giving speech, I'm like, the chiseled good looks of Christopher Reeve are on full display.
DP's just fanning himself. He's like,
very surprising. I'm glad you brought it up because I kind of, not that I was going to try and avoid it because I am
There's
happy to
no
say
avoiding those kind of looks. Yeah. No, I'm glad you agree. I'm glad they were just as breathtaking to you as they were to me.
Yes. John Cryer does look like he may have stepped off the set of Repo Man. Like,
because doesn't he have some punkish hair coming too? Like color,
yeah.
He
could have been doing some crimes or something.
He definitely could have. Yeah,
it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid because then I guess they just leave.
Yeah, that's how he gets him out.
The
car blew up. The only two police officers that were watching over him are now gone. Mm-hmm. So
that's it. He's free.
Yeah.
He's free to go back to his penthouse, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been waiting for him since he's been in jail. His gold-plated everything penthouse. And his Are we at the museum or not yet? No, not yet. Right?
At
Oh
the
no! First, we
museum.
have the train incident, just to show that Superman is not only in space saving Russians, but he's also in the city helping with the subway situation. When a subway conductor has a heart attack, is that what happens?
I don't know. When Superman goes, he's fine. Just call an ambulance. Like, wait, those are two very different things you just said there. He's fine, but needs urgent medical attention.
But also call that ambulance.
But also, before you call the ambulance, can you just listen to this quick PSA about public transportation I have?
Because you should still take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a little intermingling there. That's when we see Lois. Lois is getting on the subway, going to work.
You know what I realized? We talked about Superman's good looks.
Yeah.
And something I realized watching this now is Margot Kidder and, who's the woman from Indiana Jones? Karen Allen. And Carrie Fisher. They all have a look. Like they're all very interchangeable.
I see
that. It's like, and they're very similar. They're very like strong-willed women, very assertive, and I just think it's interesting, and it's nothing I ever picked up on before. But now watching this time, for some reason, I think I just thought that Karen Allen was Lois Lane. And then I was like, oh no, it's Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
And I realized, I get those two confused. And Carrie Fisher kind of looks like them too.
But you're right. I never thought of that. How they were a certain kind of a look of a leading lady in the 80s.
Yeah, like
and a certain
shorter,
kind of an
brunette
energy
hair.
because they definitely all brought in more of that stronger, which is cool. Nice observation.
Yeah.
Didn't Margot Kidder go crazy?
She did for a little while.
Right?
Yes,
but
she
how
did.
can you not when you are, right? I don't know.
When
being
you are
famous and being in the Superman franchise, I'm sure. Any kind of,
no.
In the 80s, you're famous in the 80s. I don't know how you manage all that.
We're not trying to bring anyone down here, but she did, and then she got better.
Good.
But then she died.
Oh.
And upon further, I don't know, autopsy or whatever, they think it was suicide. Like alcohol, pills. It didn't seem accidental. Is what,
I'm sorry.
And I didn't know that. Like, I knew she had died, and I just thought, that's a shame. That's tragic. But yeah, I should stop researching.
Make it up next time.
Right. She's fine, everybody.
She lives on a farm in Maine. She lives a lovely life, and she raises bees. It's really good for Margot Kidder these days.
She bought that farm.
Yeah, exactly. She lives.
Farm the land. She lives off the land. She farms around that crib. Because she didn't want to move it. It's a piece of...
It's memorabilia for her.
It's Superman cultural heritage. Oh, Superman.
Oh, Superman 4.
And we never go back to that barn. I don't know if he sold it or not.
No, we do. At one point, he goes back to get when he gets sick, and you said he's got to get the knife again. Okay. Somehow he's back at the barn for like a split second to like, I got to get that special crystal.
That I left in my jacket pocket inside a
hanging
barn.
Inside the barn door. I hope that realtor listened to me and didn't sell the site as is.
I would totally love it if there was a scene of him knocking on the door and there's a new family there and he's like, listen, I used to own this property. I left something in the barn. If you don't mind.
Crystal,
And they watch him and they go, who's that nice elderly gentleman?
He was. I forgot how he ages. Yeah.
And then they see a handsome man fly away.
So handsome with that cape and everything. And that the Superman setup is its own thing. The underwear on the outside of the pants, or the outside of the unitard.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a superhero look, but...
I mean, because this is so early in superhero movies...
Yeah.
They still really just looked at the comic book and were like, I don't know, this is what he's wearing, so let's just do this. It's totally fine. And also, he's not... That's the other thing that I kind of liked is he's very good looking. We can agree on that. But when he's fighting that Hulk of a man, I was like, he's not jacked. Like,
no.
He's wearing his arms are covered, his legs are like every inch of him except for his face is totally covered. And the little bit that I see of superhero things now, even if somebody's covered, like I don't know if they're wearing a muscle suit or if they're just jacked out of their mind.
Yeah.
And you just have to see every bit of physique of these guys.
Right.
And that's kind of not what Superman ever was.
No, Superman's very even humble, I'll say, with his.
Yes, I think that's fair to say.
I'll put
Superman is humble.
Yeah.
That's one of the qualities that women love about him.
Superman 4.
All right.
All right.
All right. So
there's a takeover.
The Daily Planet.
Yeah, there's a takeover at the Daily Planet.
I have honestly no interest or knowledge in what is happening at the Daily Planet because some old guy takes over because of what?
Shares. He's got more shares because in the end, the editor, or I guess it's the editor who's really pissed about it, right? They're all not happy about this takeover, especially because
Perry White is Superman's boss. He's like the guy in charge in the other movies and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But now he's sort of pushed to the background because some wealthy
business tycoon-y
has taken over
with his daughter
Lacey,
Muriel with a Y, Hemingway. And they are all about the headlines. They don't necessarily need there to be facts.
Right.
They just want to get the people's attention, and whatever grabs their attention is what they're going to put in their paper, which even Clark Kent is very vocal about. That is not what reporters are meant to do.
Yeah.
Does this sound vaguely familiar?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. It's almost as if this has been happening for a very, very long time.
And even Superman can't stop it.
You could even get this message from a little movie called Citizen Kane that was made well before Superman 4.
Right.
But also, I think it's funny because we don't, unless I just wasn't listening to any of the dialogue, which is possible.
Yeah.
We don't even get anything like our competition or this other paper. This seems to be the only game in town.
And are they changing the name of the Daily Planet?
They take the sign off at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called though.
I don't know either. And again, it's not like a super But anyway, so there's the upset at the Daily Planet.
Headlines would be a great name for this.
Hemingway's Headlines, did you say?
Yeah.
For sure.
Fantastic.
For sure. But, hey, speaking of Hemingway, how about the clothes she wears? That
very angular.
That very sparkly shirt she wears on her first day of work.
Yep.
So much.
I mean, she's pulling out all the power.
I thought she's getting ready for a dance recital. What's happening with all that? All that, what do you call it? Sparkle, right? I don't know. They put it on dance costumes. She had a whole moo-moo of it.
She is into the headlines.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to be
She's
seen.
A flashy
she
dancer.
Wants to be noticed.
Dresser. I gotcha.
Yes. What's inside doesn't count, Jamie. What's under the fold doesn't matter.
Well, Superman will teach her otherwise. Well, Clark Kent will teach her otherwise.
Well, right, yes, but it's all about the headlines or the sparkly dress or the eyebrows. Beyond that,
eyebrows.
That's it.
Oh, because they're Hemingway's.
Those eyebrows, they get me every time.
They are intense.
There are a few things about this movie that I really remembered. Most of them had to do with long fingernails and a guy being put into an elevator. But when she's laying on that desk, I was like, oh, I remember this.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she gets 100%. Right up on that desk like silly almost. Like, what are you doing?
Silly. Like when he walks in, and I don't know what she was pretending she was just doing.
And who sits on their desk like that?
She's like splayed out on her desk.
Just hops. Anyway, it's very.
Calls him in for a meeting and jumps up on the desk. It's really great. It's super funny. And I like how she and Lois are kind of fast friends, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because even after this meeting, even after all this entire takeover, Lois is like, oh, yeah, that's Clark. He's kind of a wet blanket. And he's not really into chicks at all. And she's like, hey, all men love me. I'm very, very rich.
I'm very, very rich. Yeah.
which
like
is
that.
a really funny line. And then for some reason we cut to a random school somewhere.
Oh, this is when the teacher is showing them the news and the terrible arms race that's happening in the world. And these poor fourth graders have to watch it. But like we said earlier, teacher's got a message. She wants them to write their local congressman, invoke some change in these students. And one sad student in the corner is like, what about Superman?
Right.
Superman can help us.
Congressman's like, these fucking kids can't vote. Throw that in the garbage.
Aw.
Who cares?
Well, I mean, but aw. But,
No. Yeah.
Well, somehow this kid's little story gets to somehow headquarters. The newspaper headquarters finds out that this little kid wants this to happen.
Yes.
And not that Superman has even responded necessarily, but Superman's lack of response leads them to create a headline that says, did I write the headline down? Jeremy is the little boy's name, by the way. I did write that down. I didn't write the headline down. Oh, Superman says, drop dead to kid.
Oh, yeah, I wrote that. Which is, first of all, a fantastic headline. I got to give it to
They
them.
do know how to get their attention, yeah.
That's the thing.
My attention is all on that paper now.
We can complain about what they're doing all we want, but boy, does it work.
They're doing their job is what they're doing. We might not like it, but
it works so well because it gets Superman to pay attention.
Yeah, it showed well. And then Superman, Lois, somehow the letter was mailed to... Somehow Lois got her hands on the letter. The actual letter Jeremy wrote.
That Lois is like, oh, yes, Superman's mail. And Hero Hemingway's like, wait, hold on a second. Superman gets his mail sent here?
And no one's suspicious that the guy with the glasses looks a lot like Superman and is never around when Superman is?
Also, this is his mailing address.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the fact that this movie makes no sense at all times and never tries to explain itself.
It doesn't need to. It's Superman 4.
I know. I'm just hoping that was not in the script. And Muriel Hemingway, the actress, on set went, wait, Superman gets his mail here?
Yeah.
And they just kept
They were like, we love it. Love it. That character would be surprised by that.
Oh, my God. It's awesome. Yeah. But one real quick thing before we get...
the museum heist.
Everything like that. What was that?
Lex and the museum?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the museum you were talking about. Because I didn't remember a museum in this movie.
Why are there... Well, I guess if Superman existed now, which sometimes I wish he kind of did. But if Superman existed...
Yeah, because he's super hot. I get it.
Well, no. Because he does amazing things. Like he saved... Anyway, there's a whole exhibit at the museum dedicated to him. Because...
Oops. Is it? Like, I really didn't understand what this museum was.
Well, I think it's like maybe the museum.
Is it just a natural history museum?
Perhaps,
this
yes.
is our Superman
and this is
section?
our Superman.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I took it as. I didn't think it was like a Superman museum. I thought there was a Superman exhibit at the museum, which includes something Superman donated. Like, don't you have a spare cape or a boot or... I don't know, an old family photo. I mean, go to the farm. Bring something from there. The crib that Superman grew up in with the little punch marks in it.
Jamie, he has a secret identity.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. I would be a terrible secret superhero. I'd want to spill all my secrets.
But yeah, if there was an extra cape that he has or something.
That's not what he gave, though. He gave a strand of his hair.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions about where this came from because I don't know why he's donating it. Or did somebody find it on the scene of something? They're like, this is Superman's hair. This is so great. And now they have it holding up 1,000 pounds.
I want to know, did he do one of these? Bing! And pull it out? Did he snip and they have a couple of strands preserved? Or like you said, did they find it after a
tussle?
Yeah. But his hair's so neatly placed, I would find it hard to just... Was he wearing a cap one day? I don't see that for Superman.
Also, the real question is, hair that can hold up 1,000 pounds.
Oh, yeah, it's very strong hair.
Just cut that
Yeah,
off.
that's it. Or bink it out. You're right. And it
Right.
doesn't just shed if it's that strong.
Yeah, it's
Superman
not like
had
he
to
needs
remove it.
haircuts or anything like
Yeah.
that. He's an alien human or something.
Yeah. Well,
He's a Kryptonian, I guess. He's from Krypton.
I don't know his.
Yeah, let's not get too in the
formal-
weeds here.
Yeah. I'll call him Kryptonian, though. I'll go with that.
Okay.
If his planet is Krypton?
Krypton.
Mm-hmm. Kryptonian,
Mm.
maybe.
Okay. All right. Anyway, we see Lex Luthor and John Cryer wandering around, and they just break the glass of this and cut it with some bolt
In the middle of the day. Like, wasn't there just a group looking
There
at
were
this
just
exhibit?
children
Yeah.
crowded around this getting a tour.
It's not like it's at night and they're like got masks over their faces and flashlights and they're trying to shh, we gotta get the. No, he tells his nephew to move out of the way and he just busts the glass.
Yeah.
No alarm is ringing. Is there an alarm ringing?
I think alarms do ring,
okay.
and they seem unconcerned with any of this.
And he gets the hair and it's the greatest thing because now his nephew, who's an amateur chemist, I don't know, scientist,
Is this his
son baby
deal?
maker?
Is that why is he the one that's doing this?
I thought
Like,
he was. I
understand
thought
that
it
he's
was
wearing gloves.
Lex's idea, but that the nephew was the
He needed this boy genius.
Yes.
When he takes him to Boys Town at the end, I'm like, this guy's 27. He is not a child. Father, do you have room for another boy in here? Sure. Oh my God. All right. So yeah. So they steal Superman's hair because it's all part of Lex Luthor's plan. Mm-hmm. This is, like we explained, Mary Hemingway's played out on the desk. And at one point, is she pushing her knee into Clark Kent's crotch while they talk about working together?
That could be happening. I didn't observe it, but I wouldn't doubt it.
It's really something.
Yeah.
And this is when the whole thing with Superman says drop dead to kid comes up. And at this later on in the movie, like, Lois has had enough and she's like, that's it, I'm out. And I'm
Right.
so shocked. Why didn't this act do it? This is their paper publishing. Superman says,
yeah.
drop dead to kid.
Yeah. But
And
this,
they're
they
like,
have a bigger
"Okay."
fish to fry. When this headline comes
Okay.
out, they're not ready to quit the paper yet.
Right.
They got to know what Superman's going to do. Like, even if he didn't say that, now that that's been said, how's Superman going to defend himself even from this, be it false or not, headline, right? That's
Hey.
the next.
If you're Superman,
Focus.
you gotta take.
You
the
got to
bait.
act fast. Yeah, you
knew
got to figure
Superman
out.
would fall for it, and you knew that he would do something, and he does, but not at first because he has to fly to his fortress of solitude,
He's got to think on it.
where he talks to old man ghosts.
Yeah, they inform him. I'm going to call them the elders.
That sounds a lot
Yeah.
more. I
Than
mean,
old
it
man
sounds a lot
ghost?
classier
Yeah.
than old man ghost and formal.
He consults with them, and their advice is kind of it's like smoky mirrors, right? Like they tell him what to do. Not smoky mirrors. That's not the right thing.
Did you say smoky mirrors?
I did.
I mean, they're telling him not to interfere with mortals or with the world, which isn't that what Superman's doing all the time
I
when he
thought
saves
so.
people and fights villains and stuff like that. Like, that's my problem, is suddenly it ends at nuclear warfare where they're like, whoa, Superman,
You gotta let
can't get
the
involved
humans
in
do what
this.
they do. Yeah.
Yeah, this may be your home, but you can let them destroy each other. That's
Yeah.
totally fine.
I mean, you're really from here anyway. No, but he goes against kind of what they.
Yeah.
But he doesn't go aggressively against it. He first goes and meets. First, he goes and gets a whole entourage to follow him, right? Of kids and like you said, what city is he in? Is he in Japan? Wherever he is, he goes to the UN, and he makes a passionate, brief but passionate speech.
It is really great. Like,
Yeah.
I love it when women's like, well, you can't really come up and give a speech unless you're sponsored. Does anyone want to sponsor him?
All
and
hands.
Of course, every country.
All hands up. Yeah.
All hands up.
What does Superman have to get that handsome man in front of this place and let him talk? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Every small nation was like, oh my God, if we can get Superman to be a citizen of our country. Could you imagine? It really puts Zimbabwe on the map. People are going to pay attention when we say something now.
Right.
Yeah, but it's really, he does really give like a crazy impassioned speech, basically ending with, and now I'm going to take care of all these people.
Exactly. And here's what I'm going to do now. And a standing ovation. The whole group. There's not one side that's like, not even Russia do we see at least. They're saying, no, we want to keep our weapons. Of course. Of course.
No, word has gotten back about their cosmonauts. And they're like, all right, Superman's pretty
he's
cool.
a good guy. He just wants to, He even helped us out in space.
Exactly. Jamie, you skipped over something that I think is pretty important. Before this, Lois comes over to Clark's apartment.
She clumps over.
Like, I don't know where. Half the time when they're in apartments, I'm like, I don't know where.
Whose place is
they
this?
are.
Yeah, when they were in, I thought it was Margot Hemingway's apartment because she was having everyone over for high tea.
Me too. Why?
But then it was Lois Lane that was cooking the roast dinner. I'm like, whose apartment is this? Why is Lois Lane cooking dinner in Margot Hemingway's apartment? And I thought we're supposed to be having tea. What's happening?
We're supposed to be having high tea.
It was very classy.
She says it's fancy.
It's fancy.
And also, that's clearly Hemingway's apartment because it has a pool inside and she's super rich.
Oh, that's what I thought. I was like, I didn't know Lois Lane, the reporter, can afford to have a pool in the middle of her apartment.
I was losing my mind because I was like, I know everything that's happening right now. And suddenly Lois Lane goes, I'm making a duck.
But that's because we're in that awkward scene where they just have to find ways to get Superman to leave and Clark Kent to come. So the dinner has to burn. 100%. He looks and sees the dinner and turns the oven on high so the dinner burns.
I could not believe it.
We go to such extremes to get rid each time of the other.
My memories of Superman 1, 2, and 3 are very hazy. The whole time I was watching this, I'm like, how has this not happened before? Hey, is this the first time they've done something like this with Superman and Clark Kent in these movies?
They have to. They have to. But I think this was the most
aggressive.
I guess. And yeah.
All right, but anyway, so she comes over, and they walk out onto this veranda. Let's say.
This is when he's at. Yeah.
Clark's like, all right. It's suicide time.
Yeah, she just keeps walking. She even says, it's not that bad, Clark. But
when they jump and then he lets go of her, seemingly Clark Kent falls to his death. Superman saves her, and she doesn't say anything about, where's Clark? Is he dead? No, they just romantically fly around.
Yeah, they take a little tour. It's a little like they go to all these major cities. They're in San Francisco. I think they're in New York. I think that they just fly around. He just, you know what he needed?
He drops her at one point just for fun.
Yeah, just to be giggles. Just because like a tickle fest, like you guys. But I think it's what he needed to clear his mind, to get him straight, to get him like he needed a joy, not a joy ride, a joy flight with his special lady.
Yeah.
And I thought when it was happening, oh, this is great. Now Lois is going to realize that I didn't know the big reveal was happening, but that's wonderful that it is. She now knows Clark is Superman, and it's going to be the next kind of, but no. Superman returns her, kisses her, and then she's kind of just out on the veranda by herself staring off, and he's Clark Kent again, and there's no mention of Superman being there. It's like she's... What was that?
I have no idea. It was like he Men in Blacked her or something.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Because I was like, oh, he must just be a really good kisser. Because she's just frozen. Her eyes like roll back into her head. And she's just standing out there with this blissful smile on her face. And suddenly Clark Kent's like, hey, you want to go to this
We got to
UN
go to
gala shit?
Yeah,
Whatever.
they have some kind of award show or something to go to.
I don't know.
Something.
It's a black tie affair where
Right.
he walks out in an all-white tux, which is crazy. Like, that is Clark Kent, the man who wants no one to pay attention to him, basically being like, look at me, everybody. Yeah, so then after that is where Superman pops in on that kid while he's buying a hot dog. And then
Oh, yes.
UN and gives his impassioned speech. But yeah, so I guess he just flies around, gets all these nuclear warheads, and has constructed a giant space net.
A huge net that he's just collecting them in. Right?
And just flings them into the sun. Easy peasy, done.
That's there we go. I set out to do something, and I get her done in, I think, less than a day. I think it was like a Superman afternoon.
This is a long afternoon for Superman to rid the world of all nuclear
He's like,
weapons.
All right, saved you.
Yeah. And
You're
that's why I'm like,
welcome.
how long have you been here, Superman? You really could have done a lot. Like, if this is you should have.
Let's get a list
way
going
sooner.
for Superman of all the things that he can help with. If this is the kind of work he can do, come on now. Let's
I have
use
an
him
idea.
efficiently, not just for helping passed out train conductors.
Yes, 100%. Like, and I think the other thing is we need to stop letting adults talk to Superman. He should only talk to children.
The
'cause they have
children
really
get
good
him
ideas.
going. The children. He's like the Mr. Rogers. Like
Don't say
that's
children
what.
get him going. Jay.
I didn't mean it that way.
He's Superman.
Oh man, I meant the children inspire him. How about that?
We know that Mira Hemingway does not get him going.
Oh my God!
All right.
Don't talk this way about Superman. No.
Right.
Wait. What's happening here? What's happening here? With Lex Luthor,
Lex
the
Luthor
great
and-
criminal mind of the modern era.
Yes. Is this where he's with Nixie and Trixie? Those two ladies?
Oh yeah, his little horse that you just sit off the. He has a meeting with some nuclear arms dealers, like some
warmongers. Let's call them.
Yeah, there's 4 of them. They don't seem very dangerous, but they are.
Yeah.
Because-
I do like when he goes, guys, the sun is nothing more than just a giant nuclear bomb. I was like, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's the right analogy. I mean, let's start with the fact that it's a star, and we'll go from there. I don't think you can say,
It's called
it's just a giant bomb in space, I guess.
It's Lex Luthor science. It's its own kind of.
No, it is.
Figuring out powers
I love
and
his.
things.
I wrote a few of his sayings down here when
Oh,
he says,
good.
You know what I always say, the more fear you make, the more loot you take.
Okay.
It's like,
That's
a
a great
saying to
criminal
live
quote.
by.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It really is. Anytime he opens his mouth, all of his lines are basically like, I'm evil, you're evil, let's just be evil. Guys,
Yeah.
we're really, really evil. I'm doing some evil stuff back here. If you evil guys want to check out my evil.
It's because he is. He's Lex Evil Luthor.
Yep.
Luthor.
Yeah, so this is where he goes in the back and there's like shots of beakers and colored liquid and stuff.
Mm-hmm. The goo.
And then
Yeah.
Well, then we get an insert shot of them putting, like you said, goo like inside a box.
Mm-hmm. Like a little tin lunchbox or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Along with like Superman's hair. And I love it too because the sound is not the same as was being recorded because Lex Luthor has to explain exactly what's happening because I can only
I
assume
don't know.
they
Yeah.
shot this and test audiences were like, we don't know. What is that goo?
What's happening? Yeah. Did somebody put?
happening right
Yeah. Yeah.
There are a few scenes where people just spew exposition and just explain what's happening
But we need it
for the benefit of the
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
When Perry White, head of the newspaper at the end, has to go up an escalator and then say, well, I own the newspaper now because while you were so busy,
I bought the extra
stock and now
shares.
I'm
Yeah.
in charge and you're a minority stockholder. I was just like, this guy is just delivering all the information.
Well, because
right now.
sometimes things just happen in Superman movies. Like sometimes Muriel Hemingway can just float in space, and sometimes
Sure.
we need to explain how people take their newspapers back and how many shares they now own compared to the shares that the other owner owned. We need to know, how does that work fairly? Oh, that's how you got
After
the bank
Perry
loan to approve you because you're okay. Got it. Okay.
After Perry White explained that,
what's the APR rate on that?
I need Jimmy Olsen to raise his hand and be like, "Oh, can you also explain why Muriel Hemingway didn't burn up upon leaving Earth's atmosphere?"
Questions.
Like, give us that. Give us all of it right now. You're standing. You took an escalator for some reason. I don't know what you're doing. I can only assume you're trying to get out of this movie, and you're just delivering all of this so your day can be over.
You just want everybody to know. Here we are.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So his plan is to launch this goo and Superman's hair into a missile, tricking Superman to throw it into the sun,
where it
and give birth to a child.
New Superman, and we kind of see the miracle of life happen. It happens
sure,
kind of quickly, but it happens.
Yeah, it's like we just see a little fetus grow into a sun man.
Yep.
With big long nails,
long
and
golden
amazing,
nails,
voluminous hair,
and beautiful, just Pantene Pro V. Give him all the body in waves.
Complete with a superhero or supervillain outfit.
Oh yeah, that orange
too?
Because he's like lots of spandexy, shiny, looking good.
Like you could have had him be naked. Now you don't need to show anything. It's a PG movie, but I think it would be great if he came down into Lex Luthor's thing and Lex Luthor was like, "I made this for you," and then like unveil this costume that he made. And then put that on him. Like, I don't know. Listen,
you want to see him robed up?
Whatever. Yeah. But I just thought that would be kind of cool. Like, Lex Luthor even made him a costume.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's very cute.
Well, maybe this was part of Lex's design. No, he was birthed in this.
He put his wishes and thoughts into that box too.
With the hair. This is the color. This is the scheme. But yeah, he's an impressive son villain. We find out he's a villain. He mostly grumbles, those kinds of noises, right? But
later on, he just sounds like Godzilla. When they're fighting on the moon, it's just Godzilla yelling at Superman.
But when he does talk, when he does have sentences and phrases to say, he has the voice of Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor's voice. It's Gene Hackman. This actor is just lip syncing? Lip. He's not lip reading.
No, pantomiming is just miming.
You're just not doing it with your lips.
But I know what you're saying. Yes, it's just, and it's so just Gene Hackman's voice.
Yeah.
It is 100%. They brought him into a booth to record the lines, and they're like, "Can you do a voice?" And he goes, "Fuck no, I'm Gene Hackman.
I'm just doing me. I'm just Lex and Gene.
Put this into your fancy computers and do something with it."
Yeah, warp me out.
I got lunch in like a half hour. How long can this possibly take?
Let's read these lines. Let's get through it, and he does. He does. But yeah, he's birthed. He's here, and Gene Hackman is stoked. It worked.
Yes. No, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize.
I do want to bring up tiny scenes. The gym scene isn't all important. But boy, is it something. Because before he shows up, we get this scene that has nothing to do with anything of Muriel Hemingway. I should just start calling her, what's her name? Lacey?
Lacey.
Lacey.
Yeah.
She brings him to the gym. And he shows up in a sweatsuit, like he's wearing
with a hoodie and a thing around his neck. Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like he has a towel tucked into the back of his sweatshirt.
Yeah.
He can't do aerobics. I was getting so many perfect vibes.
Oh, yeah. You just wanted him to grind his hips around, didn't you? Yeah.
Very early on, she's like, Clark, this would make a great article.
Yeah.
For papers.
Well, that's why it's one of the motivations for taking him. See, because you can get to know the social life. I'm very social, she tells him. So they're at the gym, and he can't even get through an aerobics class. He keeps having. Is it that he's out of breath or he's having cramps? Like he can't get through the class. She's like, "Can we just try a little harder?" And he doesn't. He's like, he gives up. He's like, "I can't. This is not for me."
Yeah, this really is Superman being like, I am so not into this woman, and she can't take a hint. Like,
Because you know that he can complete the reps or whatever. He can handle a couple of jumping jacks.
And her idea is like, I'm going to take this guy here, I'm going to get in a leotard, and he will not be able to control himself. Now he's just sweating and panting.
And he's mad about it. He's mad about being there. He's sad. Then they try to do some weights on a machine, and some jabroni of a trainer comes over.
I don't even think this guy works here.
He's got an attitude problem is what he does.
Yeah, he tries to show him up. Yeah. It's so weird.
And I like it when, well, I don't like it, but Muriel Hemingway is like, I used to think he was a nice guy. I guess I really don't know what nice guys are. I guess none of the people I hang out with are really nice. Like, she has this whole, like, self-actualization that happens when she realizes.
The line is, this guy made me realize a lot of the people I know are jerks. It's like, this guy? This random guy
at the gym that you trainer?
Don't know. You don't know him.
She does say hi.
Realize that most people you know are jerks.
Yeah.
It is funny when she leaves and Superman just throws, 800 pounds at this guy.
Oh, and he says something to him. What does he say? Like, oh.
No pain, no gain?
There you go.
The other reason I wanted to back up is before Nuclear Man shows up at Lex Luthor, why is Lex Luthor dancing with Marie Antoinette?
Oh, yeah, that does happen.
Did he invent a time machine? And
I don't know. I don't know. It's very strange.
It is really
This is
weird.
just the hobbies of Lex Luthor, I guess.
And John Cryer's like painting, too.
They're having a renaissance moment. I don't know.
It really is great. And I hope that these are the things that I almost called him Clark Kent. I'll call him Clark Kent. Brought to the script.
Yeah. I hope that C. Reeve said, you know what we need.
Really great.
Very oddball, but people will get it. They'll like it. They'll not only get it, they'll like it.
Nobody's gonna get
Years from now, a dynamic duo is going to be doing a podcast, and they will point it out, and they will.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah. Christopher Reeve sees into the future. Yeah.
I like to think they were trying to stitch these two scenes together, because the last one ends with Muriel Hemingway saying, "Let's go have high tea," and then we see Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, just dancing with Lex. But that's and then the illuminated guest has arrived, and Nuclear Boy. You're right. I think that's what he calls it. Has incredible power, spins. What's his name? All around and does
John Cryer. And we just listen to John Cryer go, whoa.
Yeah.
He's like a Ninja Turtle, basically.
It is very Michelangelo.
It really is.
We realize we get a glimpse of his Achilles heel, if you will. When the sun isn't with the sun god, the nuclear guy.
When he takes 2 steps away from the door.
Yeah. And he just needs a little ray of sunlight. He doesn't even need to be full sun exposure like a house plant, He doesn't need to be fully,
Because I think to revive him, Gene Hackman has his watch. And
and just gets the glare going.
Yeah, but it really is this whole movie's during the day. And I don't know, like I said, I can't remember any other Superman movies, but maybe they all take place in the day or in the daytime.
Is there any
but
night
I was
fighting,
very aware that it was never nighttime in this movie. Before this, but certainly when I was like, this guy runs off of sunlight, we're never in the dark.
No.
At all.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great.
It's super. Here's your double date. Right? Isn't that what's next?
Let's go on a double date, because this movie changes into some weird rom-com. For a very long time.
Yeah, it's silly long how long this lasts.
I was so surprised, because after the terrible credits at the beginning played, I was like, let me just say, I didn't look at the time.
Like how long,
Yeah, so I paused it, and I was like, this movie's only an hour and 25 minutes. Like, after those credits, it's an hour 25. I know. And I was like, this is going to be so breezy. And at this point, when he's on a double date, I was like, is he ever going to fight this guy? We've done so much in this movie, but not really. I think we're only about halfway through at this point.
Yeah, Yeah, but this takes a chunk. This is like your middle. You get past this, then you get to the other side. Yeah.
Then you can get to fights and superhero stuff. But you do have to
have to make it through this weirdness.
But I will say, I think the weirdness was what I had more fun with than the fight. The fights are terrible.
Oh, yeah.
The fights are terribly uninteresting. And all the flying stuff looks like garbage, too.
Yeah.
So there was something weird about just being like, well, wait, how's Clark Kent going to leave this scene? Oh, he's riding luggage out of this scene. And Muriel Hemingway is just
And I like how she's just like, well, Clark got stuck with the luggage and couldn't get up the elevator, and I couldn't wait.
Yeah,
I wouldn't hold the elevator or wait for him or just know that he's on his way. I don't know what happened.
It's insane because she tries to explain this to Lois Lane, and upon hearing the words she's saying, I think, just finally goes, it's not worth it. Like, you're right. It's not worth it. Because they're meeting for high tea. It's
or
a
dinner.
double date.
Or a dinner that Lois is making. We don't know because Lois is also making like a roast and potatoes. And
then he ruins it. Clark has to knock it on the ground later.
No, but Superman puts the oven on high, too, and gets it burning so that she leaves. But
he doesn't ruin it, remember, because when she comes out, she's like, this is the best duck I've ever made in my life.
Oh, it's duck that she's making.
Which is so strange. This is so strange. Most of the things I wrote in my notes end in question marks.
Well, this is a question mark.
Cooking Duck has 3 question marks after it. Oh. But yeah, so they're meeting for, like we said, tea. They're meeting at, we think, Lacey's apartment.
Yeah.
Even though Lois is cooking.
Maybe they made, like you said, they were fast friends. Maybe they're incredibly fast friends where Lois right away is like, I'm the better cook. I'll just cook today. Let me commandeer your kitchen. It's all good.
I'll bring everything over.
Yeah, I've got all the ingredients.
Early.
Yeah.
I don't know what it takes to make a duck, but I can't imagine it's a simple
We're
process.
going to figure it out. I got it. But yeah, this Clark is the first one to arrive.
Right.
He's there. He doesn't really... He meets up with Lois, who gives him a little bit of advice.
Oh, God.
He doesn't even know the first thing about interacting with a lady.
No. Because apparently she's been trying on a lot of dresses. And Clark shows up, and when she walks away, because he's like, do you have change for like a valet or something? I don't know what he's doing.
He wants cash from her. He comes in needing money.
He needs money. And I like how she goes back and she's like, I got a 20 in my credit card. Is that what? You're just going to give this guy your credit card?
But again,
while she's gone, I really love it how Lois Lane's like, you got to say something about her dress. Like, notice her dress. And he's like, hey, that's a cool dress, dude. Or something dumb
No,
like
I think
that.
he's just like, hey, that's a dress. Because even Lois is like, Jesus
Christ. Bitchin' outfit. Yeah. It really is like, hey, some dress.
Yeah.
Snazzy.
He doesn't even say snazzy. I think he's just like, hey.
I'm giving him more
It's a dress.
Credit.
Yeah.
It's a dress.
Yeah. It's a dress.
It's a dress. It's as sparkly as everything else you've worn up to this point.
He has to leave to pay whatever the valet guy, so that allows Superman to come in. And I love Lois is like, see, this is an entrance. Look at how this guy flies in poolside.
Competitive. I wanted Lacey to be like, you're just here to interview him, right? And then I want her to be like, you're not even dating Clark. Like, these men are not aware that these women think that this is a date.
What this is happening. Yeah. These men, it's the same dude.
Wait, hold on. We got to back up. Are you telling me that Superman and Clark Kent are the same person?
Oh, man.
I don't think I understood this.
I didn't write all the back and forths, but do you have any highlights of their back and forths?
No, it's all so stupid.
Yeah.
It's all just like, I'll walk into this room, or, I have to go back downstairs, and now a luggage carrier, I jumped onto it somehow and made it appear that I am being run over, and also am unable to just step off of this slowly moving thing that is being pushed by a bellboy. who can clearly see me because I'm so much taller than this.
And he really hit him. Oof. And really.
Oh.
Yeah.
And she's just riding up in that elevator.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that we are to believe that she got to the top and did not ride the elevator back down.
No.
Just gave up.
Yeah.
And was like, you know what? Lois is going to love this one.
Yeah.
She knows this goofball. Yeah. This all happens, like you said, again, to distract them. He uses his heat vision or whatever to cook the duck further or something like that. Then there's what happens to sort of end this. Oh no. Yeah, Lex Luthor.
Oh, he gets a message from Lex Luthor gives
Lex Luthor has a big like jumbotron in Midtown,
which only Superman can see, and he says, "Only you can see me."
Jamie, first of all, I wish he said that. He doesn't say that.
Oh, he doesn't?
He says, "Only you can hear me."
Oh.
Which, I'm like, wait, everybody can just see you on here, but they can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, weird.
Oh, it's so crazy. And then he makes an excuse to leave.
Well, now he's got to leave. Now Superman's getting a message from the bad guy. Neither Clark nor Superman can leave. I think at some point they just lost Clark. They're like, where the fuck did Clark
this is
go?
when Clark comes in and knocks over all the food onto the ground like a clumsy idiot and then makes his goodbyes.
Yeah. Because now...
It's really something. Like, that scene alone is just... I did not think I was going to see anything like that in a superhero movie.
And you do. What a treat. What a treat.
Yeah. But he flies to Lex Luthor's place because Lex says that there's a bomb in the building or something.
I don't know.
He's going to blow it up. Oh, whatever. And I got to tell you, Gene Hackman, he's working with what he's got, but he's having so much fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I really like when he's like, oh, I can't believe I've been in prison. What have you had to worry about? I can't believe you haven't taken up a hobby or gotten a puppy or a kitten or something like that. And then Superman's response is, what's really going on here? It's common knowledge that you hate children and animals. What? Who's writing this? Like, it's ridiculous.
Superman doesn't have time for the small talk.
It's
and you gotta you have to have your Lex Luthor facts.
I have your Playmate centerfold here, and it's common knowledge that you don't like children, but you do like long walks on the beach. So this is where he introduces him to Nuclear Man?
Nuclear Boy? I don't think he's... Sunman. Sunman, maybe he calls him Sunman now?
It's Nuclear.
Okay. I wrote down Sunman. But he is meant to destroy Superman. But he says, first, I have fun. Like they're going to play cards together.
Smash cut to them playing cards. That would be so great.
But first, dominoes.
His fun is to, fly around and cause mischief and mayhem.
Yeah, that's
all
fun.
Over the globe.
Come on, he's got all his power. It's daytime. Let's just destroy walls and buildings. And what else does he do?
I mean, Jamie, I would refer to that as a great wall. It's not just a wall.
Yeah.
It could be the greatest of walls. He blows it up, and I like how Superman has to take time out to, first of all, save a lady.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A white lady. I don't think there are any Chinese people there.
They were the tourists.
All.
They're tourists.
Yeah, they're all tourists. You're right. And then he has to rebuild it with
really quickly with his
little
vision. All those bricks go back up. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of fun.
It is kind of fun. Yeah, it is kind of fun. There's a whole bunch of other disasters that he causes. And those are volcanoes.
Yeah, volcanoes. What I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do see that Superman can also speak Italian.
Oh, yeah, because he helps the little Italian villagers when the volcano comes running through. And doesn't he at one point say, come on, not the kids or not the people, so many people. Doesn't he get annoyed, Superman? Or
I think that was you watching this saying that. Oh, come on. More of this? Are we done
You're
yet?
right. That might have been my reaction. Oh, then we get the Statue of Liberty. What the hell does he do to the Statue of Liberty?
Rips it off and flies around with it, and then tries to throw it down in the middle of Manhattan. These they have reaction shots of people on the streets, and they are yelling. There's this one lady who's really great. She's in a cabin screaming, yelling, and freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
And right next to her, there's a guy looking and going, look at that. It's the most like, I guess we're all going to die, but it's kind of cool. It's a cool way to go out, I guess. Yeah, and then Superman has to save this. But in the process, he gets scratched.
By those nails. By those crazy golden Lee press-on nails.
Yeah. I did not expect that
when
to
the
be
sun
his
guy gets his power, and there's light everywhere, and he's fierce. But then he's got these delicately manicured golden nails. It's lovely. Yep. It's lovely.
It really is.
But the scratch, the danger is in the power of the sun nail, I guess you could say.
Right.
That is very damaging to the...
I don't know if there's like kryptonite in his nails.
I don't know. It's not good for
if Gene Hackman
Superman's
said that,
neck.
I wasn't listening. So
I didn't hear that detail, but I assume it's dangerous. You get scratched by those nails.
Right.
Obviously.
But these are we do just enter scenes now where it's like, Superman's got the flu.
Yeah.
That is 100%
Superman in his robe with a box of tissues, just watching movies. Yeah.
Because this is where Lois freaks out about the newspaper, and she's like, "Well, that's it. I've had enough. I'm out of here." And the old guy's like, "Yeah, and also, where's Clark Kent? Like, he's just not showing up to work anymore."
no one knows.
I guess he's fired as well.
Yeah. So she goes to check on him. She goes to his apartment and sees that he is not doing well. Kind of gives him she gives him a little pep talk, right?
It's a fun pep talk that she gives him because she's like, if Superman was here, wink, wink. And I'm like, I don't know. Do you
know? Do you not know? Lois, are you just fucking with all of us? What's happening?
It's so weird. But before she gets into this, I found this funny, and I love that you say he's at his apartment, because that's what I thought too. And I think he is at his apartment.
Okay.
But she says, I knew you were here. Somehow I knew you'd be here. It's his apartment.
Yeah, where else would he?
Again, I don't understand most of the dialogue in this movie.
She's very sure of it, though. She just had an instinct. She just drew herself. She didn't even know where she was going, but she came right there. But
this is the thing that spurs him on to, I think, go find that green crystal and heal himself with it. Right.
He knows he's got to kind of snap out of it. There's still a world to be saved. And he lost his cape, like I think you said earlier, it somehow got on Muriel Hemingway's desk, and now Lois has brought it to Clark. I don't know what mixed messages you're giving us here, Lois, but
I don't know. Because even at the end of the movie, it's like,
do you not know?
Shame Superman's not here. Yeah. Like, what? You know it's him, I think.
I feel like you're being a little...
Am I crazy? Did he kiss you later that we didn't see, and that erased your memory of everything that happened? Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's so strange. Yeah. But Nuclear Man sees the latest newspaper.
Oh, with the cover with Muriel Hemingway.
Picture of Muriel Hemingway.
Yeah.
And is in love with her.
It's an instant connection. Wow. Those eyebrows, they'll get anyone, right? Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I mean, as far as my research has gone, yes, those eyebrows will get anyone. But yeah, then he flies. I guess he flies to the Daily Planet or something. Mm-hmm. And this is when he asks Superman, where is she? And Superman knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And forms, and I was going to call it an elaborate trick. It's not
that elaborate.
It's basically like, she's not in this elevator here.
And there's no light in here, but you're too excited about where you're going to even think about that.
Yeah. It really is like the easily bamboozled Nuclear Man.
Well, I think even Lex Luthor says, like, he's not the bright, he's not the smartest. He's very bright from the sun, but
born.
He's a babe. He's just a baby superhero. He hasn't learned all the ways. Right. He doesn't know what to be aware of.
Which I feel bad for him at the end of this.
You do?
Not really. I mean, you have to kind of feel bad for him because he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, I don't know why he's I don't know why he's immediately like, all right, well, I guess I'll just do whatever Lex Luthor says.
Would you have liked a little a training montage where Lex was maybe teaching him different like moves or giving him some sort of knowledge because he is so dumb?
Yeah, but Jamie, if we put that in, we have to cut something. And what can you possibly cut from this movie?
We don't want to cut the devil date scene.
No.
So you're right.
Nothing. No,
you're right.
Can't
I'd
chop
make that
any of
sacrifice.
Up.
We'll just keep Nuclear
You want to
Boy
make this
dumb.
movie longer? I don't think so.
No, because we're getting near wrapping things up, and here.
Right. So he basically rips this elevator out of the building.
Yeah.
And flies it to the moon.
The moon, the dark side of the moon, not just any part of the moon.
He didn't think that one through. He didn't realize like, oh, the sun it'll hit every.
But how is it really hitting if he's not getting the light in? How does the light get through?
Oh, there's a crack in the.
Oh, the tiniest of cracks. That's right, because he doesn't need a lot of light.
Yeah, Superman didn't think to fully close the doors.
But so while he's on the moon, he's fixing the American flag, that was on the moon.
God,
and when he's just straightening the flag a bit is when out from the elevator, here he comes. He's powerful. This is
just a slow motion moon fight.
Silly.
I do kind of love how it basically ends with Nuclear Man hammering him into the moon.
Again, very Bugs Bunny cartoon like.
Moon dirt over top of it at the end.
Oh, he tosses him like a baby. He pounds him like a nail into the moon. And then Muriel's fighting with her dad. Oh, yeah.
I love it when it gets to the point in the podcast where you just start reading.
I'm just going over it. Well, even in my notes, I'm just like, yeah.
Well, that's what happens is he pounds Superman into the moon, thinks he's dead, I guess, and then he kidnaps Muriel Hemingway and flies her into space.
They're going to make more space babies?
That's where they're going to make space. Does he think like, if I throw her into the sun, maybe I'll have a baby or something?
I don't know. And is she distressed when she's with him? I guess she must be.
She does not seem bothered by any of this.
She's like, this is fucking way cool.
She is. Yeah, I like to think that she really is just shocked by everything that's happening. But yeah, there's no reaction from her. She's not screaming.
No.
She's not excited when she gets rescued. It's nothing. I don't understand, because then, so Superman then saves her, I guess. I don't remember him saving her, but I'm sure he does.
He does.
I'm sure they don't just leave her in the vacuum of space.
No,
But this is where he moves the moon in front of the sun.
He makes the eclipse happen. Yep.
Exactly. Yes.
Yep. And then the Sun Man that's what happens. He makes that happen, and the Sun Man gets so sleepy and he drops her, and then Superman comes and scoops her up.
He gets so It really is fun. Like, I just love the idea of him being like, I don't know, I guess I'll move this moon around.
He's like,
How do I make it dark? An elevator didn't work. But I did take the elevator to the moon, and that's bigger than an elevator.
Wait, the elders told him not to fuck with like the humans and their natural, but he can fuck all he wants with space and the eclipses. Like that's not gonna fuck any shit up if you just make it. Do you remember when the eclipse happened a couple of years ago? Did you watch it when it was?
Yeah.
Did you experience like what that was like when it was like total darkness and like crickets came out? And it was a crazy experience.
And I think more than that, you can't just move the moon.
Well, you're Superman. You take that.
No.
Oh, doesn't it have its own? I see.
Physically, he can do whatever he wants. I'm just saying, doesn't the moon like handle our tides?
That's what I mean. He's
women's periods or something.
Yeah,
like that?
He's gonna fuck a lot of shit up by doing that. You don't just casually make an eclipse happen, Superman.
Well, I mean, in the first one, he did fly around the Earth in reverse. So time.
Oh, I guess. Backwards. All right, I guess then.
So
bets are all
this
off.
might not be the silliest thing he's ever done in space, but it's pretty silly.
He's pretty ignorant to space science. Let's just say
this movie's ignorant to space science. You have Muriel Hemingway floating around in space, and he's just moving the moon. It's so great because, like you said, the best part of this is how the guy just gets sleepy when it's nighttime. He has to go to bed. And then Superman grabs him and throws him into a nuclear power plant and gives everyone a ton of energy.
And then that's...
lights come on that weren't even on before.
Power everywhere. See?
Oh.
He turned evil into good for all.
It's so much fun.
He has a press conference, Superman, and I love it. He says, peace will come when you want it bad enough.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta want that peace.
It's kind of not like some of the things he says.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
I wish it's someday
I'm
you could
touched
all see
by
the
it.
Earth like I do. Like,
Yeah.
it's really nice.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you can see the Earth from space.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's really nice, but then that's undercut by suddenly the Daily Planet's saved because of sense.
Well, we got to wrap everything up here, so let's just make sure that we know what's happening to the Daily Planet, what the status of the Daily Planet is.
And this old man, I guess, is dethroned as the president of the Daily Planet.
Not enough shares.
I think Muriel Hemingway loses her job but her reaction is to turn around and go, well, you win some, you lose some. Like, I mean, clearly spoken by a woman who was in space a couple hours ago.
She's all spaced out.
And now he takes Lex Luthor back to prison, and he takes John Cryer to Boys Town.
Oh, right, to the Boys Town. Uh-huh. We wrap everything up like a little bow at the end.
I have another question about lines that were said.
Oh.
When he takes Lex Luthor back to prison, Lex Luthor goes, how did you know about my plan? And he's like, well, if something runs by the sun, you just make it dark and blah, blah, blah. And then, to which Lex Luthor, perhaps the last line of this movie, says, is the world going to be vaporized? That's it. He walks away, and Superman flies away. The end of the movie.
That might be the last line.
I think it is.
They were leaving it open, maybe, or just again, maybe that's Christopher Reeveism tossed in there.
Maybe it is. You think that was just a note he jotted? It had nothing to do with the movie. He was just writing things down. He's like,
just thoughts, just Reevey thoughts.
He was going to make our book of, I was going to say
ponderings.
Poetry. Oh, no, ponderings. That's good. Yeah. And that's it. That's Superman 4.
That's a wrap on Superman 4. Not necessarily, obviously, not the best Superman, but
all right, bold statement, but
kind of, and not really that good at all, but kind of fun to watch, especially when you know you're podcasting about it.
Okay,
how's that?
I'm glad you said that, because I mean the thing I was going to say is I did not have fun watching this, but I've had a ton of fun talking about it. Like, this was super fun to talk about, but watching this, like, I think I was just really confused most of the time to where I wasn't appreciating the goofiness of it until we started talking and unpacked it. So, yeah, I mean, if you know what you're getting yourself into, check it out.
Put it on the list. Yeah.
I said this thing's an hour and a half. No other Superman movie is under 2 hours long.
Right. So you want a quick Superman movie? You want some fast times with Christopher Reeve? This is going to get it in there. He's handsome. He's goofy. He's double dating. He's saving the world with peace.
I'm kind of curious to see if he just got good looking for this one. I kind of want to watch a little bit of Superman 1 through 3 just to check it out, because I'm like, maybe he's matured and come into his own.
He's fully into his, like,
it is like 10 years after the first one.
You're right.
So,
maybe this is the best. Yeah. Maybe this is the best looking Christopher Reeve, although not the best Superman movie, plot movie, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's the worst, but
you don't want to say it's the best.
No, I don't want to say it's the best. It would not surprise me if after watching all of them, I definitively say this is the worst.
All right. Well, cut back to us with that definitiveness. We're all looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to give everyone a recommendation.
Please do.
Because that's what we do.
That's the time. That's the time for the recommends.
So this movie was directed by somebody named Sidney J. Furie, who still directs today.
Lots of Y's in that name.
In the first name, yeah. Fury's
Fury. Oh, I-E?
No, it's I-E, yeah.
Oh,
Really
okay.
threw you a curve there.
You did.
So he mostly does TV stuff now.
Okay.
But in 1991, he directed a movie, and I just happened to watch this movie like a week ago.
Oh, it's a recent.
Yeah, just because I heard it was dumb and it's a stupid action movie, and sometimes as I'm like drifting off to sleep, I will put on like an action movie because I'm like, oh, fall asleep to this. It's called The Taking of Beverly Hills.
Oh.
And it's from 1991. It's kind of a fun plot, is that there is a chemical spill in a very, very wealthy neighborhood or town.
In Beverly Hills, okay.
Yeah, so the town has to be evacuated. But this is all just fake by the cops in that town to now rob everyone while they're all gone.
Oh.
So it's a fun idea, but like one guy who's like an ex-football player, he didn't evacuate. He didn't leave.
Oh.
And then he and one of the good cops have to fight all these guys. And this movie is, and there was a time, and I didn't know this was the thing that was done in like the 80s and I guess early 90s, where sometimes film studios will buy neighborhoods that are going to be demolished and use them in their movie and just blow them up. And that's what they did. Because like you watch tanks and cars go through multiple actual legitimate homes in this movie, and I'm like, how? These are elaborate sets built. But it's
actually they're destroying a real neighborhood that was about to get super fun. All right.
Kind of a fun, really dumb movie.
Okay. So, I love a fun, dumb one.
Yeah.
That lulls you to sleep. That kind of dumbness that just gets you
I watched this
feeling slumbery. You're like the sun god without the sun. I think I've recommended this show before. I think it's on its third season now. I don't do a lot of superhero-y things. I don't do the Marvel and the whole thingies. I'm sure they're very nice and enjoyable. It's just it's not what I gravitate toward.
My bag either.
But I did watch, and again, I think we're now on season 3, and I just finished the third season of The Umbrella Academy. Have you heard of it? It's a fun little Netflix show about a group of superhero. Didn't we talk about it before?
I think we did.
Yeah. Because
my only story about Umbrella Academy is Carla and I were looking for something to watch, and so we played it. When it was revealed that a monkey was talking to us, literally in the first 20 seconds, Carla went, "Nope, I'm out," and turned it off.
Not for me. Not for Carla. Not for Carla.
So that is all. So I have seen the first 20 seconds of the first episode of the first season of Umbrella Academy.
Well, they are on their third season. They just wrapped up season 3. It's a fun watch, and each season, they're saving the world to some degree. And they're a group of, I think it's based off of a comic book too.
I'll take your word for it.
Sounds about right.
I know Jocelyn really likes it.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
Aww. Ask her who's her favorite character. I'd like to know.
All right.
And get back to me on that, okay?
Okay, I will.
All right,
I was about to do that in real time. Because I'll forget.
I know. I'll have to text it too.
I don't know. What was that called? Rainy day academia?
Rainy day schoolings? I don't know. Yeah, that's my recommendation, Umbrella Academy. I think it's on Netflix. It's great.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Okay, super cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. This is, we really appreciate it. Like, after doing this for 7 years, there have been people who have been listening for about 7 years.
I thought you were going to say 14 years. I'm like, wow, that is
14 years.
Not even possible.
These are just people you and I know, and they've just been
listening to us they count the 7 years before we podcasted. They knew us. That's clever.
No,
I agree. We thank. I really love that we've got people that are just been with us and hopefully are still entertained.
Oh, and the titular shirts are up.
Yes!
TeePublic, everybody.
All right.
So I think I need to change, because I think right now it's just our initials. Like, if you go there, you have to type in
GTGM. Yeah, how do we get them? Where are we getting them?
TeePublic.
TeePublic.
T-E-E and then public. I assume people know how to spell that. I might not, but I'm sure most people do.
There's a C at the end, not a K, and there's no Y's.
Wait a second. I may have put this on the wrong website. It's a site that says I now have a lot of viruses on my phone, right? Yeah, so that shirt is there.
Fun,
Go check it
nice.
out, and pick one up or pick up something with Angela on it. Whatever, put her on a
We
mug.
got
It's
some
great.
merch. You should enjoy the merch,
And it's
especially if you're a
all
long
stuff that
time fan.
I didn't realize that when I say it's all stuff. It's only twice that I've done that, but I'm Magic's bitch, and I want to be Angela's BFF are things that you said.
They are titular.
They really are titular. But anyway, we should talk about what we're doing in 2 weeks' time. In 2 weeks' time, it's another patron's choice.
It is.
This is Nick, and it's his very first choice
Thanks,
on our
Nick.
podcast. And it will be Flight of the Navigator.
OMG.
Wait, I am very confused by that reaction. Do you know what movie this is?
Yes.
Oh, you do? Okay.
This movie is
Yeah.
the first movie that I have a memory of seeing in the theater. Like, it's my first movie theater movie
Oh, my
memory.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, super cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't remember mine. Wow. All right, so this is going to be really special for you.
I think so.
This is the movie I thought we were going to be watching when we watched The Explorers for the show.
Oh, right. But
So
The
I
Explorers was the one with
very-
River Phoenix, right?
I was very disappointed
Yeah.
when I was like, oh, this isn't the movie I thought it was. Well, this is the one where the slobby alien just sings for 20 minutes at the end. Oh,
Such
this
a-
is what we'll be watching?
Such a
Not
weird
into it.
alien, yeah.
So, no, I'm very excited for Flight of the
Yeah,
Navigator.
that's going to be fun.
And we will watch that in 2 weeks. Everybody, again, thank you so much for listening. Leave us rating, review, whatever. Tell people about the show wherever you get it. And we will be back again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, flighting with Concords. What? Navigators.
Yep, you got it.
Oh my God.
I'm stopping. Playing with Concords.
I haven't stopped it. Okay, I stopped.
That was a really fun one. I had so much
I
fun
knew it
talking
was
about
going to
that.
be. I knew it was going to be. I was like, this movie is so terrible, but it's going to be a shit ton of fun to talk about. And it was. So,
All right.
Am
So
I-
now we don't have to do anything until we're together.
yeah, that's okay. That's what I was like. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I have next on their agenda. And I think we might do it. I don't know. Do you want to talk about some vacation plans, or you want to run? You can run if you want to.
I don't need to.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
I think, and I've got to work out next week. I'm still going to work on our plans, our daily
Okay.
plans more for vacation time. I think we might record at that fun house we're staying at, if you're okay with that.
Let's do it.
Don't
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah.
I feel like, because I was looking at the listing or whatever, and they've got some game room. They also have a beautiful outside deck. Remember we recorded Harry and the Hendersons
Right,
out on that deck?
yeah. Uh-huh.
So I was thinking maybe we would do it at the summer vacation rental. Maybe that
confused.
Friday night.
Like,
What?
guess I don't know what this place looks like. Because we changed
We did
from the
change.
original place.
We did.
And now I can't think about what this looks like.
It's
And it doesn't matter. I just now realized, as you were talking about this, I'm thinking about
like
one of those houses that we're not doing.
and you can't picture it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't picture what we're doing. No, I looked at it recently, and there was a little outside sitting area with a fireplace that I was like,
Of
oh, we could get
course
cozy
there
there.
is.
And then
Yes.
there's a downstairs that's like a game room that I thought, well, maybe we could even do it in there. So
Wherever. I don't
and
care.
we'll figure out. Oh, this was the other thing that might be important to both of us. Do we want to watch the movie together?
You had mentioned that. You had
Yeah.
brought that up. Mm-hmm. I'm totally fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But is that taking anything away from anything?
That's what Barrett.
I mean,
I
I'm
said
not
it to
saying
Barrett
you
this morning on our
packed
walk, and he was like, "I feel like you guys talked about this with Harry and the Hendersons, and you decided to watch it separately because it messed. Like you did. We did
Right.
talk about it when we did this last time, and we felt like
Yeah.
it takes something away to see it together, and then unless." But then then we'd be spending like 4 hours. Like we watched it and unless can we
I
talk
feel like
about
we
it
should just
and
watch it on our own.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're right. It would be like, I mean, I don't think Summer Rental's a 2-hour long movie, but still 3 hours.
Yeah.
3.5, whatever, of watching it and then talking about it. Yeah, I don't want to feel pressured to be like, well, we've been having so much fun, but we got to go in and watch Summer Rental, guys.
Yeah. We got to go watch this movie and now yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Yeah, let's just do it on our own. I mean, it would be fun, but
I like it. Let's do it. I totally agree. I totally agree. And then we'll just chat it up. But yeah, I'm thinking that'll be a good time to record it because we're gonna be busy. We're gonna be busy all the other days leading up to that. We're gonna tube and kayak and do all the things that you hate but your wife loves. I love that list. Yeah, who wants what? Anyway.
Yeah, she even talked to me about it. I was like, I already sent my ranking. She's like, well, shouldn't we have talked about this and not sent them separate rankings?
I loved it, though. I'm like, all right, so we probably won't get a boat because neither one of you are super keen on that.
She told me what she was doing. I'm like, well, that's the exact opposite of what I am. And she's like, guess what? Sent it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she did.
Yeah. We can tube. I just used to. The only reason why that was low on my list is I don't think I've ever kayaked or canoed before.
Oh, so you want to do that?
And I really haven't been on a lot of boats. I tubed a lot as a kid.
Oh, so tubing is something that comes almost naturally to you.
I'm pretty much an expert.
You're a tuber.
In a tube.
Total tubes. Okay.
No, that's the only. No, but that doesn't mean
that it's off limits, right?
Yeah,
but okay, so you're not going away from tubes because you have a fear of being in an object in water that has no middle, which is what a tube is. And some people could fear that. I legitimately wondered. I'm like, maybe he doesn't like his feet not to be secured in something, and so the tube is a thing that he's not into.
No,
but that's not the reason.
We used to throw tubes in the Delaware River. That filthy, disgusting thing.
Oh, man.
Down. Yeah. My dad would park way up, and then my uncle would park his truck down low, and we'd all get in and go down to the other truck and throw these tubes in the back.
So fun. Yeah. Summertime? Yeah. These were summertime?
I would hope so.
Yeah. Winter, the frigid, icy Delaware River.
Yeah.
Your dad's like, bundle up, kids.
Bundle up. We're going tubing. Yeah. So, I mean, anything we do will be an absolute blast.
Oh, it is going to be blasty blast.
Carla's very nervous because Carla's like, why did you pick canoeing first? I'm like, well, because I've never done it. She's like, we'll be horrible at it. She's like, I don't know how to paddle. I think we can figure it out.
It's very easy river that we're not trying to do any kind of whitewater rafting. Oh, no. Believe me. That is not the kind of it's like a lazy river. You're barely paddling. Yeah, tell her, right. Don't worry. No. Yeah. You can kind of get by just moving your hand in the water. The river just takes you. It is not that kind of intensity, but yeah, it's gonna be fun times.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I can't believe.
The only thing I'm nervous about is all these flights that get canceled and everything. Apparently that is something that's happening a lot.
On the regs.
I know a guy who's had to stay in Disney for 3 extra days because his flight keeps getting canceled.
Wow.
Yeah. And my sister, she was in Florida. Their flight got canceled. They had to be put up in a hotel.
Well, you're talking all about Florida flights. You're not coming to Florida.
No, but it's happening. It's happening at a lot of places. But I did hear that early flights don't get canceled. Flights later in the day, because of staffing issues.
Yeah, because as the day drags on.
We are flying out at 6 a.m.
Oh, that's beautiful. Both days your earlier flight. Even your exit flight is early.
The exit flight got moved. It's now at 10 a.m.
What was it before? Okay.
So that got moved. So if anything else happens, I'll let you know.
Okay. But the coming in flight is still the same. 9:15, I think. Yeah, 6 a.m. 9:15.
6 a.m. and then we have to go to North Carolina and then over to you from there.
Okay. Yeah. Do you
because we're flying out of an airport that's roughly the size of my house.
Oh, you're flying out of Allentown.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is great. If you guys ever come back up, go there. It's
such a convenient.
Literally a 25-minute drive up.
That's sweet.
And it's it's the smallest airport.
Yeah, no, I've been to Lehigh. There's a sandwich shop, or at least when I used to fly out of there, there was a sandwich stand, and that was it.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Carla and I one day were like, why don't
Why
we
are we
just fly out
hustling to
there?
Philly? Yeah.
Changed our lives.
Beautiful. No, it's great. When I used to fly back and forth from California, my parents they didn't want to pick me up from Philly or any kind of busy airport. This was the perfect airport for them to. And my brother lived in Bethlehem for a little while, so that was
cool.
Yeah, it's a great airport. It's great.
Yeah.
This is random, and you might not be able to answer it now. And it's only for my planning sake. Do you anticipate when you come off the flight you'll be hungry? Barrett is insisting y'all are going to want to hit up Broadway, the bars on Broadway, downtown Nashville. He's like, they're in town. We're all going to get drinks. And I'm like, I don't know if that's how we want to roll into this summer vacay, but maybe you do.
I will get morning drinks.
All right. Then we're going to Broadway. I'll tell him it's a go for his plan.
I'll be like, Barrett, you better show up at the airport with a pitcher of mimosas. Is that a possibility?
No, we could just hit up Broadway and then.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. No, we are at your.
And then I think we might put us in a canoe later in that same day. The day you arrive, you might be doing a sunset canoe ride.
Oh my God! Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying. And then Sweet Carla gets her massage the next day, and then we're in Atlanta, and then we have a weekend in. I don't know. I've never been to this area in Georgia that we're going to. Mm-hmm. And then I get 2.5 sweet more days. Well, maybe about 1.5. We get to kind of frolic around Atlanta.
Yay!
It's going to be fun.
I'm very excited.
I'm taking you to an art museum in Atlanta.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
gonna
classy of us. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know, because we're not going to do much in Pegram besides the... Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave the rest of the plans for when you're here.
Okay.
Unless you want to know any of them.
Don't ruin it.
Okay, I'm not.
All right,
fine.
Okay. All right.
Great. I'll see you in a couple of days.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Love you.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Did you hang it up?